Uh, Welcome back, folks. This is the third round of the winners bracket. Tim and homothety versus Vale and Adyn. I'm Bad Magic once again on comms, joined by Massa.
Hello, I'm the Massey Scammer, also back on comms. And as always, it seems we have the diagonal starts.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and count our runners down and then they'll get started.
So immediate things I'm noticing with this board is Kill King's Mold is on there. So we're going to need to find 3 Dream Nails.
Mm-hmm.
Ride the Stag to Hidden Station. If that isn't progression, it could turn into a search for that. So one thing I do want to mention before we get started, as we see in autopilot, is that unlike the other matches, lore is also randomized. All the other settings are still the same.
An immediate wing is a Salubra. I prefer wings first seeds to claw first seeds at least. Opens up just a little bit less.
Yeah, I think that's the case with most people.
Alright. So for the autopilot players, I really prefer Vale's play of going up to Green Path over Homothety's play of going down to Queen Station. Especially with the lore tablets randomized, Green Path is quite dense. Whereas, like down here, there's a bit less you can do. Although I guess the wings does get you into Fungal for like Leg Eater and stuff.
Yeah, I can't help but agree. Especially with Kilogolka being on the board, you need to come up here anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like that goal is usually like worth rushing or anything, but yeah,
It's not, but you might as well get in the area.
It's something to get. Alright. So since Homothety is warped back to start, I assume he is planning to go to Green Path now instead of going into Bungle.
So we have one of the 3 fragile charms we needed. The only extras they added are lore tablet.
And a dupe sports room to
and
go
Duke's
with
Force
that.
Room. That's correct. And Green Path Stag and Green Path. Things you love to see. I'm kidding. You do not like to see that.
Yeah, the other things you love to see, Homothety is using Palette Swapper, and you can tell it's Palette Swapper because you literally can't see anything in Green Path. Tends to make some darker lighting in some areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is using Hue Shifter. We can see from the purple explosion on the enemy there. So he's doubling down on the color rando, I suppose. So Adyn is opting to do False Knight A-Mound with him going straight to Crossroads, or rather to Dirtmouth. I think both of these are reasonable plays.
Most definitely.
I usually personally prefer to get False Knight out of the way before infection, just because it becomes irritating to come back to. But
Welcome in, Monster and Raiders.
yeah, welcome Raiders. We're just getting started with this randomizer tournament match.
Okay,
so there's a
Distant Village
distant
Stag at Sly. So that's going to make Visit Distant Village or Hive trivial.
Yeah, you do. I think Distant Village Stag is like among the best stags in the game. Just because of, like, none of the other entries into Deep Nest are especially convenient. You've got to go through like the huge maze either of the other ways, or like sit through tram animations and go through like the Garpede room.
And there's a dash for Green Team in A Mound. We'll see how long it takes Brown to get to that.
Yeah, it could be a while. False Knight is something that a lot of players tend to skip early, especially when you've got something like Wing. They might choose to ignore that and go elsewhere.
So yeah, on Brown's side, we are seeing Dive at the Pilgrim's Way lore tablet.
Yeah, I imagine Adyn will probably be getting that shortly on his way out of A Mound.
Casual dash baller kill from Adyn. Yeah, that dash location could cause some serious problems for Brown.
Yeah, I guess it really depends where the other dashes are.
Yeah.
But yeah, also like if they happen to come across infection, maybe they might be more inclined to do a mount. Because one of the reasons you usually consider skipping a false knight early is because you know you'll have to come back through later for glowing womb and failed champ. So saving the extra trick from that side can be quite nice. But if you get the early infection, then you might consider going to A Mound, and then you can still save the extra trip from the false knight side.
So Brown getting King Station Stag for city access. I assume Green already has that, given that I believe they'll use the Stag to get here. Yeah, it looks like Tim is headed into Fungal. Like, this is really unfortunate, because this play makes a lot of sense in their situation, following the progression that we have. Unfortunately, there just happens to be more progression in Crossroads.
Right, so Adyn is going to check Grubfather. I don't remember if we saw that from Brown. I also can't read if there's anything good there. I think I saw like an elegant key. I didn't catch how many grubs.
30 grubs for Elegant Key.
Yikes. Well, hopefully they won't need that.
Yeah, so that is the last shop for Tim. And there's a fireball and a hidden station stag at Leg Eater. So coming to Leg Eater is absolutely required for this seed.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Adyn is probably heading there now, given the warp back to Ancestral Mound. I think that's the logical continuation from there.
Yes, that would make sense.
So we'll probably see a double spike here. And then, yeah, maybe grabbing this bench and then heading into Fungal as well.
So Tim is heading back over to False Knight. So this looks like that blue is going to be blue. My goodness, brown is going to be getting their dash very soon.
Yeah,
And it's not going to feel good for them when they find it, probably.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad. Like, certainly they're behind, but like they're not behind enough that it's obvious to them that they're behind, and it's early enough in the seed that they can make up the difference fairly easily if they play well.
Alright, so it looks like Adyn is going down towards Leg Eater. Do you know if Green has not picked up that dive yet, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Wings was at Salubra. So right at the start of the seed, given that one of the players started at Blue Lake. So that could be a problem for Green, especially because it's kind of on its own. So unlike False Knight A Mound, where it's in the front of your mind, okay, that is still a major option out there. It's just one check that probably just got forgotten about.
Yeah, I think that's like the easiest lore tablet in the game to forget to check. Just because like, especially if you don't usually play with lore tablets randomized, you never go through there unless it's a bingo goal. Like the odds that's the correct way to get into the green path are near zero.
So we're seeing a lot of Green, Tim and Adyn retracing each other's steps. Meanwhile, Homothety and Vale are both going into City.
Homothety going into Watcher Spire. That's an interesting choice.
I don't necessarily dislike it. It's a pretty central bench. Plus, having
Yeah,
dive makes getting out faster.
I mean, I'm in the camp that thinks that bench is not very good unless you have, like, unless you're planning to go to Watcher Night any right now. Like, you can generally just get there pretty easy from King Station, especially like right now they don't have Claw, so it's a little annoying to get there.
Yes, Tim and Adyn both going to Crystal Peak.
Yeah, presumably planning to head to Rusted.
Welcome, Thundar and Raiders. We just got started with this race a little bit ago. And the biggest advantage that one team has over the other right now is that Brown is missing... Sorry, Brown has a dive that Green is missing. Simple key at nail 1.
Perhaps checking that lore tablet there at the end of Pilgrim's Way will remind them that they've missed the beginning of Pilgrim's Way and get that dive when they have a chance.
Certainly possible. And there's a Shade Cloak in Upper City. This is not in Logic right now.
Yeah, it's not a logic, but I don't expect, rather, I don't think it's unreasonable to go there or to expect that your opponent might go there.
Oh, not at all. But it is worth noting that that Shade Cloak is not going to be required for the next step to get up to there. Grubs or vanilla?
Well, they're air quotes vanilla.
Yes. Mark of Pride in Mantis Village. So that's a random obtain for green.
Oh wow, swim at Coral Lore Tablet in City is pretty nice.
We've seen our second Fragile, also in Mantis Village, Fragile Strength.
Yeah, I'm really liking the Mantis Village play, actually. Without the dive at least, heading that direction makes a lot of sense. With the lore, it's a bit more check dense than it usually. Ooh, Claw and Rusting Grounds is going to be a potential problem for Vale and Adyn. It looks like Adyn might be heading towards that lore tablet. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like Adyn is cleaning this up.
And there's the dive. So now I imagine he immediately goes to Rusting Grounds through PX. I think that's the obvious thing to do when you have dive. Interesting. So you might be opting instead to go. It looks like he wants to take Hidden Stag. Maybe he's just checking the stag. He might also be planning to just go to right side city from there. He looks like he's gonna leave.
Yeah, you can't get all the way up to right side city with just wings, but...
Oh, right. You need Claw for that. Yeah, I think
Ooh.
at least. Ooh.
Lumify Lantern at nail 3. So that would put that Claw in Logic. There's Long Nail for Brown. So they don't need that Mark of Pride. Yeah, and Green taking that swim right into Kingdom's Edge. Not a ton in Logic here at the moment, but you can get to Oro Bench relatively easily.
Yeah,
And
and especially with the dive picked up recently, that's a very heads-up play, I think. Especially like this check that is below this room, the weird, awkward dive floor is.
yeah, you're right, Jenkart. Swimming Wings with Blue Lake start puts Claw in logic. Dreamnail at Blue Lake that both teams have, I believe. Unless I was just seeing it on Tim's and homothety screen.
I don't think we've seen the Dreamnail by Green yet. Tim, don't die to 0, please. Okay.
Another simple key at Oro.
Wow, Kingsbrand at 0. Okay, apparently Green did get the Dreamnail, because if they didn't have it, going to Markoth would be quite silly. He left Markoth, so I guess he didn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, Markoth didn't show up and they'll realize, wait, I don't have Dreamnail yet. Okay, there's our last Fragile Charm at 14 Rancid Eggs.
That is quite a lot. There are only a total of 21 Rancid Eggs available.
And there's the other Mantis Claw in Kingdom's Edge. So, Green is going to get both claws at about the same time, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fortunately, they're not going to be too far behind to that at all. Certainly Brown hasn't done very much to capitalize on the claw advantage. So maybe, if anything, it will just offset the slight advantage that Green Team had from finding the dash slightly earlier.
That's true. Tim going up into Crystal Peak. King Soul blocked by Spore Shroom. Interesting.
That's spicy. So
There's one at Resting Ground Soul Totem, one at the Dive Rancid Egg in Kingdom's Edge.
yeah, so one thing I like that Green is doing is that, like, even though you would certainly hope to not need the 30 grub E key, Green is still taking some time to save grubs anyway. While it doesn't seem that Brown is really prioritizing that as much, which could make a difference later if there is anything behind E key.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, it looks like Green Team currently has about a 4 grub lead on Brown.
And there's our first Dreamer. Monoma is a Howling Cliffs.
And a fragment at CG1.
So that means Voidheart is at second Dreamer? Ah, yes, the dupe we already found.
Interesting to see VS strats on the CG2. I've not seen a lot of players do that. I think it's usually more preferred to dive, especially if you can get the double hits in.
And we're up to, I believe, 7 Rancid Eggs on brown side. As far as we know, they still need to go to Mantis Village at some point for that Fragile Strength.
Yeah, I mean, certainly they'll need to go for the goal. Or go for the lore tablet goal.
That's true. D-Dark at Hollow 2, that's not what you want to see as a racer.
Yeah, that likely means that players will not, well, they'll certainly not be getting that D-Dark, and they might not be getting a second dive at all.
So Homothety finishing up Dark Jonies here. Yeah, Hollow 1 was a Palor, which we know there's a Lantern at Nail 3, but we have no idea if anything is at Pure Nail.
Yeah, or if the players even care about Lantern.
That's true.
Like, I mean, they'll care about checking Nail 4, but they may not be in a rush to get Lantern.
And there's the other Fragile Heart at the top of Hollowness Crown. Yes, E-Pass was also at 14 eggs.
Oh, well, there's the second dive that they weren't going to get. I'm quite a fan of C-Dashless movement to deep focus. That's always enjoyable to see done well.
What I am also a fan of is seeing Vale go into not resting grounds, waterways. There's a couple of goals here. There's waterways grubs, there's talk to Emilicia, there's Radiant Boss. All of which they'll need to go through waterways at some point to get. And there's Dash Slash. Is that our first nail art?
I believe it is.
Also, Brown getting their last Dreamer in Cliffs. Doesn't put Black Egg in Logic quite yet, but it does mean that they don't need Hera to win.
They do need Hera, though. It's on the board.
That is a fair point.
So it'll be 4 Dreamer seed, for better or for worse. I really like the way that the Brown team is kind of using goals as an opportunity to guide their routing. Like, especially when you get a lot of movement relatively early. Just saying, like, oh, there's goals in peaks, there's goals in, like, cliffs. Let's go to those places and get checks on the way. Uh, is a very efficient routing strategy, and it can kind of take some of the decision making out of figuring where you should be going.
Yeah, Green not having Dream Nail is really hurting them there with Vale being forced to leave Junk Pit without entering God Home.
Uh,
Okay, so we have a second nail art at Sly. Yeah, not behind Shopkey, just at Sly. Mothie checking Divine.
was it Vale or Adyn who went to Edge?
It's a good question. I actually don't recall.
Okay, Adyn wasn't at Edge. Okay, I think that's all good then. I was thinking about whether Vale should have freed Bretta while he was on that side of Waterways, but if it's been the one in Edge, then there's not really much point.
Green finding a Bishriek at the Crystal Peaks Geo Chest. Which Green Runner started at Salubra? I believe that was Vale?
That sounds right. No,
Not
no.
sure.
Homothety and Vale started autopilot.
Okay.
I remember that because I was commenting on Homothety going down to Queen Station, and we had the diagonal split. So yeah, it was Adyn starting at Blue Lake. He'll have to remember at some point to go get the Dream Nail.
Brown finding the other fragile strength in Soul Sanctum and their Abyss Shriek in Fungal Wastes. Yeah, we have full void spells at least for Brown. And now let's see. I like the play of doing Sanctum from Homothety. I would like to see someone go to right Waterways, though.
Yeah, I think that would be all right.
You have to go there regardless because of Talk to Emilitia.
Yeah, I guess the only consideration there is with Trampass on the board. Maybe you're not interested to go there until it's logical. Because, like, you are like you don't really want to spike tunnel into Grove. So if you're expecting to tram pass there for the grub anyway, and like tram pass can't be in there unless you get a C dash to get in there logically.
So Adyn on his way up to Crown. So they will. So Green is about to get that 3 Fragile Charms goal. Yeah, I suppose the big thing is, when is Green going to get that Dream Nail?
Yeah, I think that will be probably the make or break. Is like if Green just can't find the Dream Nail at progression at Ag, and then have to spend all their time doing one-off checks to catch up on progression at Dream Warriors, that would be really bad for them.
Lore tablet at GPZ, so unfortunately for us, and fortunately for our runners, no Great Prince Zote today. Adyn heading over towards Blue Lake.
Okay.
So this is probably that Dream Nail.
Yeah, I would say that like they've not been struggling to find the checks still. So the Dream Nail, even though they're late, it shouldn't be a huge disadvantage.
Yeah. The big difference is going to be that double dip into Junk Pit.
Yeah, that's quite unpleasant.
Yeah, and even that is not all that much time.
Yeah, I assume the shortcut was open, so it's not a big problem at all.
Adyn about to get that King's Brand. One thing we have not seen is either team go down to Abyss.
Yeah, I think that's understandable. Although, no, with the gear that Brown has right now, at least I think they could have gone a while ago, and it would have been all right.
Yeah. The Duke Wraiths in Sanctum. Crystal Dash. Distant Village Stag.
That is quite nice. And that DV stag was just like Sly, right?
It was in a shop, I believe, yes.
Yeah. So like literally Brown could just have that. But yeah, I think Vale and Adyn made a good choice to just remember to pick that up and get into deepness that way. Especially like Beast Den is just super check dense. There's like 5 things in here.
Vale going to Pleasure House. Grimchild at Fungal Core.
this is some interesting navigation through fungal core.
With the lore tablet, it makes it a bit harder.
Yeah, I think Tim probably just forgot where the lore tablet was. Because yeah, like it's right there, so he was just like fumbling around the previous room for a second for no reason.
Remind me again, where was Hera? Also Dreamgate for Brown behind Watcher Knights.
Do we know where Hera is? I didn't think we did.
I don't remember seeing that, but I could have missed it. We know there's a Void Heart at a sports room tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so Hera is still MIA at the moment.
That's a nice shaman style.
And Dashmaster also at Watcher Knights.
That is a
like,
very good Watcher Knights.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Brown is going to have much time to enjoy the lead on that, though, because Vale is also... I just realized that Grey Prince Zote chasing Vale was the skin, and I was so confused for a second.
Good custom, right? All right, so this is something that's an interesting choice for how to get across this with Dash Wings Claw. Maybe a little bit of a swag strat from Adyn. But yeah, the going into archives in Lore Rando is an incredibly strong play, so
Yes.
I quite like this.
Especially with 3 lore tablets in archives on the board.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So Green about to get that Dashmaster, Shaman Stone, and Dreamgate. Yeah, Green has been doing a much better job of just picking up grubs along the way. 23 grubs for Green as opposed to Brown's 12.
Yeah, if there's anything at ET that could really be a problem for Tim and Timothy. There's a C-Dash in
Deep
Pogo
Nest.
Adventure.
Yeah. So both Crystal Hearts in Deep Nest.
Alright. Adyn is setting up for the 1 cycle. Let's see if he's able to get it. Nice.
Yes, teams agreed to play with lore for this match. And Brown buying that DV stag.
So Adyn made a slight routing mistake going to right side of archives without Ismas. You can actually full clear the lower part if you exit Umu from the left, because you can C-dash off the side of the platform that you C-dash off of to get to you. both um, Monomon and um, the other tracks on the left.
QG stag at Dung Defender. That's going to be nice for green. With two different Alubas on the board, it means they have to go up there anyways. So if...
And it looks like Vale's just going immediately.
Yeah. I like this play from Vale.
Yeah, with that's very reasonable. Like, especially with Shade Cloak, you can just full clear QG right now.
Yeah, even if you just do the left side here and kill the one Aluba while you're up here, it's not going to get any faster, and it's a pretty check dense area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the same player does have to kill both Alubas.
So Adyn is coming up from Basin. I assume he is spike tunneling to Isma's.
Yes.
But the difference between now and earlier is now it's logical, like we talked about earlier, because you could just go through waterways normally.
I don't think it's quite logical yet because of simple keys, but...
Yeah, that might be true. Simple key logic is weird. It's air quotes logical.
And it's certainly... I think the bigger factor here is that it's much easier to get the grub. Actually, it's possible to get the grub in Isma's Grove right now.
Yes.
Okay, Brown going and picking up that lantern. And nothing at Pure Nail. Cyclone was at Sly. Might have been behind the key if neither team bought it right away. They might have also just both chosen to not buy it.
I'm a little interested in what Tim is intending to do with that Dreamgate placement. Because, like, usually you would set a Dreamgate there, or, like, near there, just to get out of Mask Maker Totem faster. But yeah, like, maybe he's intending to go upwards to QG.
Yeah, it looks like homothety is going for Radiant Fluke Marm. Can you actually get that Geochest from the ceiling?
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do there. Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you definitely can.
Interesting. Yeah, everybody doing Radiant Fluke Marm for the content. You love to see it. Yeah, I think the critical difference between this and the last time we saw Radiant Fluke Marm is D-Dark. Which, if anybody has the copy post, is a very good spell and can prevent you from dying to video game bosses.
This is true. However, it did not prevent homothety from dying to that Fluke Fae.
But he's not given up yet.
Not yet.
I'm not personally a fan of like Radiant Fluke I feel like you should always do like MMC or like failed champ if you have nail upgrades. Um, okay, so I was right. Tim was planning to go up to QG. He is taking the toll and presumably doing the slow arena.
I assume,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
assume,
meant false night.
yeah.
But yeah, you should definitely do Radiant Failed Champ. That's a great idea for a race.
Also, Green picking up Spore Shroom in Ancient Basin. And that is somewhere that Brown, despite having taken the stag to in the station, has not really done yet.
Yeah.
Spore Shroom is in Basin, I assume at either the Pale Ore or the Soul Totem. So that's Spore Shroom. And Brown not happy to see that QG stag right now, I would imagine.
Yeah. After, like immediately after going in the long way and doing the slow arena, especially.
Yeah. And it looks like we're getting our first Abyss play from Adyn. Mind you, they've been able to full clear this for a while, so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly more surprised that no one chose to do this sooner.
Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, Abyss is a very large and relatively sparse area in a lot of sections. Um, so it might make sense to put
Ism
it
is
off a little.
here in the Lifeblood Core room.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, I don't think Abyss is that sparse, and the checks here are super valuable in linear.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the or like the when I say it's sparse, I mean that like from the central hub room, like the room to rate the shriek check is long. The maze to Void Heart is fairly long. The like getting through Void Tendrils and Lighthouse climb is pretty long. So like when you get to the checks are all kind of close together, but you have to make a little bit of a trek to
Oh,
get to the
Adyn
checks in
taking a
the first
death in
place.
Birthplace. Is it square root logic? I am not participating, so I actually don't have the settings.
Yeah, I think it's probably a linear logic. Like I think linear is more common for blackouts. Vale is going to do his Radiant boss. He'll be opting for a bit of a safer choice with MMC.
How's TE looking? We have everything we need for TE on green side.
Yeah.
We haven't
Though
picked up
notably, we
yet.
still need Hera for the goal.
Yes. We haven't picked up Voidheart, but we know where it is.
And we have the sports room to actually get it.
Yes. So really all green is worried about. Sports room was in Ancient Basin. I believe in the main hub area. Brown does not lack the knowledge. They've definitely been there. However, they are definitely lacking the sports room. Homothety doing no ice here. Interesting call.
Yeah, I think it's sensible at this point. Like you're geared up, but you have Lantern. You haven't checked the Mask Shard yet. It's worth getting out of the way.
It's quite slow, though.
That is true.
I don't believe Homothety picked up the no ice check.
That would be quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
Especially if there's something there.
Most definitely.
Vale going with the meta play and checking Shape of On.
I mean, I like this play more, not just because Shape of Un has been really good so far in the tournament, but because you need to come here anyway for the Aluba.
Yeah, and actually, I thought he had already killed the other Aluba, so maybe he just forgot to mark it.
I don't know if he killed the other Aluba. I know he had a chance to, but he may have just left after Salubra's Blessing. On not required today.
He has marked it.
Okay.
So a little bit late, but not a big deal. It looks like Tim will be aiming to do that as well. He doesn't have Ismas, but maybe we'll see the skip while he's here.
We could definitely see it.
Nope, he's just gonna take the bench. That makes sense. He's killed the Moss Knight, and grinding soul off of either the Aluba or the Mask Flies would be quite painful.
They do have Salubra's Blessing, but still, waiting for that's
Yeah.
also painful. So green still needs Hera, Trampass, and a Dream Nail. I believe that is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Trampass is or I guess I should say, like, it could be that Trampass or Hera is behind EP. That's not unreasonable at this point. Which would be, I think, a little unfortunate for Brown. I think they're still a bit behind on their grub collection effort.
Brown also needs the Spore Shroom.
Yeah, that's true. But I expect they'll find that. Like, expecting that they'll check Basin eventually is not unreasonable. Adyn's doing this lore tablet check. Oh no, probably Elder.
That's true. They could find the Dupe White Fragment. They could also find the Dupe Spore Shroom. Tim taking an unfortunate death to failed champ. Homothety taking care of Markoth. We have not seen this from Green, I believe.
No, we haven't. We saw an unfortunate attempt to take care of Markoth by Green. But of course they did not yet have Dream Nail and had to abandon that plan.
Vale going and checking the Broken Vessel area in Basin. Interesting play, but it's not one I hate.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Adyn is going into Deep Past. I don't think he'll find anything there. Like, Brown has already been, right?
Yes, I believe Brown has already been here.
Okay.
Have I mentioned the fact that kill Maggots and kill Mila in this board just makes me extremely sad?
The maggots deserve it. Mila is understandable.
Yeah, Brown going and looks like they might be picking up. Do they have enough for the elevator pass? Yes, they do. So if something is there, that could be the bailout that Brown needs.
Oh, Tim's going to do a thing. I wonder what it could be. He's killing a light seed. That's very sensible. He is also looking to kill Mila, it seems.
Unfortunately for me, yes. Vale killing Lost Kin. Not sure what Adyn's plan is right now.
Well, It looks like he is doing something in Cliffs, maybe summoning Grimshrew. It seems like that's the case.
Oh, Jonies. This makes sense.
Ooh, Trampass at Lost Can.
Oh, man. That is bad news bears for Brown.
Uh, yeah, Lost Can is something that could be avoided. Yeah, not killing a Light Seed was a good choice. Because if they had done, or if he had done that on the way to Lost Can, it would have potentially given away that he was in that part of base.
Brown picking up that Sports Room in Basin and going and doing that Abyss play. Unfortunately, does not have any lifeblood to do, I think, the one valuable thing in Abyss, the seed.
Alright, so Adyn summoning troop. Vale is immediately taking the tram into Edge, which is definitely the correct call for the two totems there, as well as obviously the waterway scrub. And honestly, even at this point, I might be inclined to go straight into Hive as well.
Meanwhile, homothety finishing Hornet 2. Just a rancid egg. Green is hunting for Hera and Woken Dream now. That's correct.
Mm.
Well, sort of.
How many grubs are they on?
29.
Okay, so they are quite close. Homothety is doing Collector, which it's a bit early for in many situations. I actually quite like it here, because for them, they're probably starting to wonder, like, first of all, what weird checks might we need to do to come up with like Trampass Hera, Awoken Dream Nail? But
Also,
you have to imagine that they're thinking they might be behind on gloves. Uh,
Brown getting the other Ismus tier that was in Abyss. Yes, both teams have 3 Dreamers and 2 Fragments, but with knowledge of the third one in the Sports Room to get it. And Woken Dreamnail in Black Egg Temple.
wow. Now that isn't in logic, but it is quite silly.
Yes. And it could... Okay, that could also be silly. NMG is now an option for Brown. Great Slash being at... Love at Collector's Map.
Yeah. So something that hopefully our players will remember, and they certainly seem to be so far, is if that is the logical Awoken, oh, Adyn might be going to Palace anyway. I don't think that's correct. If that's the logical Awoken Dream Nail, Hera cannot be in Palace because
Well,
it
you do have
would
to kill a
be.
King's Mold anyways.
You do, but I don't think there's a reason to rush it. Um, Otherwise, you're kind of gambling that maybe there was an awoken dream nail somewhere else, and that was the dupe, and that it is safe to go to Palace. But yeah, I would much rather do something like get the last grub.
And there's the other dream nail at Nailmaster's Glory.
Oh
Gross.
wow. So that one could be the logical one actually, which would mean this Palace play is actually fine.
Yeah. And there's the other Void Heart in Hive.
Yikes. What a scene. Yeah. Genkar was asked to roll this seed because they had delivered a cursed seed this morning when players were playing a 3 line. We seem to have gotten another.
Yeah, we still have no idea where Hera is, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
With the thing at NMG, it could just be in Palace. It could be in Hive Blood. Yeah.
There are plenty of other stupid locations for Hera to be at.
Yeah, although at this point, I think they're kind of running out of things to do.
Nosk is an option.
Yeah, Nosk is an option. But yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, I still think with the information Adyn and Vale had, it's a bit questionable. Like that's a little bit of a gamble, but certainly for Brown, it's the correct play.
We have unfortunately already seen No Eyes. Actually, that's right. Homothety didn't pick up No Eyes check. So Hera could be there.
Funny.
That would be funny and incredibly tragic.
Yeah, it could still be a Crossroads vessel behind E-Pass, which Brown bought but didn't check for some reason. It could still be behind Iki, which Green has been saving grubs for but didn't check for some reason.
Well, they just got their 30th grub, so.
Okay. Yeah,
and it looks like Homothety is going. Yeah, and Homothety is going up to check that E-Pass.
Regardless, I think at this point, I mean, I guess it depends where the Hera is. But assuming both players find Hera at the same time, Green has a substantial lead.
Absolutely. Especially because of that tram pass. Also, I believe Brown has taken the check lead.
It's certainly possible.
It's like 274 to 268. Well, 269 now.
I will take your word for it. I can't read anything on the restream.
Yeah, it's going to be very dependent on wherever Hera is.
Tim down dashing there. It's a little unfortunate.
Homothety checking the Grim Notch.
It's a simple key, the Elegant Soul Warrior, and perhaps we might see. Nope, just a vessel fragment here.
And I believe this is our first Spirit's Glade check.
Oh, did we see like Hera at the top of Palace or something? Oh, Adyn. Yeah, the back half of Palace is better with the lore tablets randomized, right?
It's not better than the Path of Pain, I don't think, but that's... You're right, we did already see Glade, but that's just personal opinion. There is more in the back, but there's also a little bit more in Path of Pain.
Well, there's more in Path of Pain, but there's more than usual here.
Yes.
I was just like, why is he skipping Path of Pain when Path of Pain is more checked ends? But yeah, certainly with lore rando, it's not unreasonable to go this way, I think.
And the best charm in the game being at Grimnotch. Wayward Compass. Let's go. Homothety going to give Radiant Fluke Marm another trot.
Yeah, so I think it's a little interesting that that Brown just went into Palace to kill a King's Mold and are not doing Palace tracks.
I know Brown did left side at a minimum.
I mean, I think usually if I'm going into Palace and can do stuff, I would like to commit to at least Path of Pain.
I agree with that.
But there's the Hera, and that's why you do Path of Pain.
Yep. And that is go mode for green.
Yep, Vale is going to kill Mila, and Adyn's going to get head into the Radiant fight. Yeah, I don't think there's any reasonable amount of death to Radiant that could prevent them from winning this race.
Hera was at the second Path of Pain Soul Totem. The first one's at the very, very start. Yeah.
Yeah, although I think the location name is called First Totem, whereas the other one might be called Hidden Totem or something. But yeah. Nonetheless, it was in the first room of Path of Pain.
Yeah, Hidden is definitely later. But regardless... So barring an unreasonable amount of deaths to THK and Radiance, and Brown making the two right calls that they still need to make.
Yeah, I think it's quite unlikely for Brown to make a comeback here.
Well, there's the Duke Sports Room in Vale Tramway.
Homothety doing a questionably named defender. Which, like, honestly, I don't hate if you're looking for weird checks to do. Like, they have no way to read where green got the tram pass.
Adyn is on climb. And that's GG's for Adyn.
Tram pass was lost kin, boss sentence.
Looks like Mothi took a death to white defender. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And Vale is on climb.
So chat asking if there will be other matches after this. I believe there is a broadcast of a pre-recorded match from a previous round that will be running after this, and I think that will probably be the only other match today.
That's correct. That one is in 2 hours. GG's for Vale and GG's for the green team.
So it looks like Tim is now headed the correct direction in base, and that's very good for them.
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's still quite a ways to go before the tram pass makes itself known, but at least we know he will get it.
Yeah.
That he has realized he didn't actually get the no eyes check. Unfortunately, we will find out that it is not anything. That's a dupe dash. That's quite funny.
I suppose that's what you get for saying that it wasn't anything.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, apparently I should just start saying there won't be anything at X location. And then there will just be possible progression there. Because when I was first testing Journal Rando, I said, oh, I want to test Hunter's Mark. I don't think there will be anything there, but I want to make sure it actually works. And there wasn't anything there. It was a dupe dash. Yeah. Oh no, Adyn, don't do it. Adyn, don't do it.
Adyn, there is one correct choice to make here.
Yeah, that's right. Go left and dream nail Marissa.
I know they've at least done.
Oh. Okay, he's just sitting.
Okay. I can respect this.
Vale, they have not done White Palace. They did part of Palace. They didn't commit to Path of Pain, though.
Brown about to get that tram pass. And Tim immediately going to Palace. Yeah, homothety is going to take care of those waterways grubs.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tim is finally making his way back into Palace.
Yeah, no way of knowing for sure, but it's pretty check dense compared to what else is left. Alright, it looks like Tim going up White Palace first. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's... Yeah, I still don't agree with that, but it's interesting that both teams opted to do Upper Palace before Path of Pain. I guess maybe, like, if they're reading the board super well, they might think, like, oh, it was a pretty long while between when Adyn killed a King's Mold and got Hera, so maybe he did pop first and found nothing, so let's go to the back half first. Which, like, wouldn't be unreasonable, but it's also possible that they're just going because it's denser than usual.
And homothety doing Hive Overcharmed. Probably because of that Hive blood. I don't know what the cost is. Yes, they do have TE besides Hera.
Sulfus, what you're describing is actually a setting in base randomizer. It's under the split group setting, so you can choose what types of items get randomized together. I think most racers don't prefer it, but it's a thing that exists if it's something you think would be interesting to play with.
I suppose not exactly what Solthus is saying, but yes, it's similar to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably couldn't do exactly that with custom group injector, but
Looks like Tim might need to brush off on his Path of Pain a bit.
yeah, yeah. On another topic, given that he skipped both of the Upper Palace lore totems, I will be like I suspect probably they tried to read that Green did Path of Pain first and didn't find it. Because like obviously if he doesn't know the top half of Palace is more dense, there's no reason to go there first other than if you read it.
And there is that Hera from Brown. Tim's first THK scream aligning almost perfectly with Mophety's final THK scream. Like that.
I love to see it. Oh no, homothety taking a death to Radiant.
That's unfortunate. Not sure if he realized he was overcharmed for this fight. I don't think he did. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people do like overcharmed Radiant, though overcharming with Hive Blood is a little weird. Like if you're overcharming, you'd probably want something to increase your damage output.
Yeah. Yeah, my guess is that he probably just forgot to take it off after Hive.
Mm-hmm.
These two is a quick death. Better than dying late in platforms.
Definitely.
How did Tim not get hit by any of those? Okay, making up for it with the orbs.
Yeah.
Tim on to climb, Mothody on to platforms. And that will be GG's for Tim.
And GG's for homothety as well.
Let's see if we can get our racers in here for an interview.
Hello, GG's.
Ooh, GG's.
GG's.
GG.
GG.
You took an awful long time to get Hera from White Palace. You took so long I thought it wasn't in White Palace, so I left.
It wasn't a path of pain.
I
Yeah.
did top palace first. And
Right.
the reason of that is because I just wanted the lore content. I was just hoping it would be at the lore tablet.
Yeah, I actually was speculating that you might have read that, Tim. And
Yes. No, I thought what I thought happened was Adyn did Path of Pain, and then went to the top of Palace, and then did the lore tablets. But I forgot about the lore tablets existing when I went in myself because it was so much later.
Mhm.
Right, so I climbed to the top to check if it was there, and then I only checked the soul totem because I don't play lore rando that often. So then I just, had to come back for Path of Pain.
The other good goal hiding that happened was Vale did not kill a light seed on the way to Lost Kitten.
Yeah, we
About
realized
that.
that.
By the way, that was not a genius play. That was me being a moron for getting guts on the board and just not killing one. I do not take any credit for
Well,
that.
it worked out well.
Yeah.
So if I had gone to kill Myla earlier and marked that goal, would you have killed a light seed on the way? Do you think?
I think I would have thought about it and maybe hidden it, but I'm not sure. I maybe would have just marked it. It's possible.
Should have killed Myla
Wait.
earlier.
Also,
SMH.
it's
Also,
pretty
I want to
lucky.
ask you a question, Tim.
Yes.
Like, how do you explain that dive at 17 minutes? Oh, wait, no,
Oh,
that's
we
us.
found.
We're the morons. We're the morons. Hold on.
It
Yeah.
was announced, right? Or
The
something like
moron.
that?
Yeah, that is me being
The dive at
Soul
5
Totem.
minutes.
Soul Totem, or what is that? Lore tablet, Pilgrim's Way, non-enjoyer, because I'm an
Oh,
idiot,
yeah.
but I remembered after.
Right.
That was amusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm using is the right word for it, but it was definitely
Yeah.
something.
I remembered myself, so it was at least.
So and
enjoyable.
after you got dive, you probably went to resting grounds immediately.
I think
not?
so, yeah.
Yeah, for the claw.
Actually I first closed edge, right? And then
Yes.
I
Well,
got
we
the
got
rest
them
of
within a
Close
minute
Edge.
of each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you also went to edge super early.
Yep. We didn't actually get the Void Heart there, although we could. Did
Where
you?
was the other void heart?
You got the. It was in Hive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shoutouts to this board logically requiring NMG with Great Slash at Tower of Love.
Yes.
I was so close to doing that twice. Once I stopped to do Lost Skin, which happened to be a very good play, and the other time I stopped to do, I think, Elegant Key.
Yes,
Which was a
okay, so you
massive
did do
bait.
elegant key. You did
Yes,
do
we
elegant
did.
key. Okay. I was at some point it has to be behind the grubs, but yeah.
Yeah. Also we are very lucky that Vale went to Lost Skin because I am definitely the person who just randomly slashes every light seed on the way. So
Same.
Yeah, I mean, why? Like going to Lost Skin just never came up. Like Basin, we just didn't do at all.
Yeah. It took a while for either team to go to Basin or Abyss, especially Brown.
But even then, we did Abyss long before we did Far Basin.
Same
Yeah.
here, I
True.
think. Adyn did early Abyss. And then
Yeah,
never went
we did
left.
we did
where was
late
where was
abyss and
Brand
last
again?
location, last skin.
Bran was at 0.
Oh, 0. Oh, right,
Ah.
because you find the dream mill in Blue Lake,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the
exactly.
with the swim in RG.
No, there was a swim with Quitter doublet that we got first.
Yeah, we got this
Oh,
one
right,
first.
yeah, right. No, that's the thing we got. But we got it when I was in RG, I think, or something. Yeah,
All right, chat. Any questions for our runners?
Seems like not. Oh.
It doesn't look like they. Kraslov just asking Rando Man, be gentle with us.
Yeah, with the update to the bracket, it will be Calypso and Blossom versus Calypso and Blossom versus Vale and Adyn, and then Homothety versus Graz and Adyn. So
I guess we'll just have to. I guess we'll just have to make a losers bracket run to the grand finals.
yeah.
We'll
I don't see any other option.
Yeah, those are both going to be good matches. So I'm excited for them.
Yeah, but if there's no more questions, I think when is the next race? That should be a question chat asks.
Yeah, the next race is going to be broadcast. Yes, it's going to be rebroadcast in a little over an hour and a half.
At 2 a.m. Lovely. Okay.